All right, everyone. I told you yesterday that I was going to do another video on Premium, this time talking more about my thoughts, going deeper into my thoughts on where everything's at. So what better way than to make a chart on tier maker? But I'm not actually tiering anything, right? I just like it because it's four rectangles, right? Four rectangles, and it's got all the clan names and everything like that. So it looks nice. It looks nice. But basically, today I'm just going to go through every single clan, kind of talk about where they're at, how good they are, and you know, where they belong. So it's in 4 different sections. Doesn't really matter where in the rectangle they are. It's just 4 groups. Just 4 groups. On the top right, we have the strong decks. These are basically the decks that are kind of like tier 2 decks in the previous format, like under the big 6 kind of thing. And now, like, obviously, they're probably pretty strong. And then some other decks as well there. The unlucky one in the bottom left, that section is basically the now bad decks. And trust me, there is not much that is going to go in there, right? On the top left, we have decks with decent potential. These ones are more like, the deck itself was okay, it was fun, it was decent. Now, because of these things going away, it definitely has some potential to become really strong decks. And the bottom right ones are the needs work clans. These are kind of like the clans that are really bad before. Well, not great. Like, saying really bad is a bit, you know, it's a bit harsh. They weren't great before, but now, like, with a lot of new cards that are being released or new ideas, these could also become semi-playable, right? Semi-playable, or even stronger than that. Like, one thing I really want to emphasize, right, is that we've got cards released since BRO BSFO, not BRO. BRO hasn't happened. But since BSFO, new cards have been released, especially overdressed cards. They've largely been overlooked, but we also have clan collection cards that we kind of looked at, right? But nothing really serious, because, like, to be honest, not that many people were probably looking into the format as much, because there was no point, right? Without the list, without knowing what the list like would be, it's pretty hard to make decks, and we've been waiting for that for a while. And I would garner to say that, you know, even since the beginning of the year, no one has really seriously looked at a lot of the clans seriously in Premium, to be honest, right? If you weren't, like, really good, what's the point, right? What was the point? Can your deck kill someone on the first grade 3 turn without striding? If it can't, then, you know, what's the point in looking at that? So I feel like the bottom right and the top left, there's definitely a lot of potential there that a lot of people are overlooking. And again, yes, we got new cards and new interactions, especially like the overdress stuff can actually make, I think, quite a decent amount of difference. So yeah, let's kind of just get started, right? Let's get started. So first off, let's start with Angel Feather. So one of the things I want to say about the Keta clans, I guess, or the United Sanctuary clans, is they have to basically choose between like Ultima and the Overtrigger, right? And I think a lot of this is just a theory. I think a lot of decks, bar some, will kind of go with the Overtrigger because they don't need Ultima, which is crazy, right? There's definitely some exceptions, and Gold Paladin is definitely one of them, because you make Excel circles, and Excel circles of Ultima is pretty good. So that one, you'll definitely go Ultima. Angel Feather is kind of funny, right? Unfortunately, I had to start with this one, because, you know, you got the loops of Ultima, you know, but, you know, you might not go for that, because there's, honestly, with Angel Feather tech, there's been a lot of cards released for Angel Feather. Angel Feather's never really been like I'd say a serious clan, apart from funny interactions, right? They were always kind of the Gize clan. There was Ultima Loop, like, way back. But apart from that, the research into Angel Feather definitely hasn't been very sufficient, in my opinion. I wouldn't put them in the needs work clan. I would actually put them in the decent potential clan, to be honest. Because, again, a lot of cards has been released for it. The format has gotten technically slower, theoretically slower, right? Theoretically gotten a bit slower. So something like Angel Feather definitely has a lot of tricks, a lot of unique cards in their toolbox that, if someone was smart enough to develop it, I think it definitely could be something scary. You'd see, like, random decks that are really strong. So definitely, I think this Angel Feather has showing a lot of potential, right? A lot of potential, and definitely not here, right? They don't have to go deep and reinvent the whole wheel, in my opinion. Aquaforce, I actually think Aquaforce is quite strong, right? You know, you've got a couple of builds which just draw a bunch of cards. Blood Arena is still really good. Nothing in it really got hit, so it's still like the crazy multi-attack, very rush-centric kind of build. Of course, you know, there's heal guardians down the format, which kind of stop against heals, but it's not like Aquaforce has a crappy, like, stride game, right? They're not just all in about just going, like, face all the time. They actually have a decent stride game, you know? Like, Alexandros, sure, we talk about how bad that is, but, you know, it's still, they can still draw a lot of cards. Megiddo is still amazing. Blood Arena is still really crazy as well. I think they have Valius as well. Valius Stride basically stops you from getting any power. So I definitely think this is a very strong deck. We've seen some random like Aquaforce decks pop up, but of course, again, right, in the previous format, you had to be fast or faster or you're dead, right? So Aquaforce never kind of, well, it got to shine a bit in that format, but in this current format, which is slowing down, I definitely think this can really, Aquaforce definitely has potential as well. Right, so that kind of goes in the strong. I think it's strong, right? You can already consider it to be strong. Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle recently got nerfed. They lost their Toit, so their Superior Ride engine got shut down a bit. But you know they still can Superior Ride slap Selena, and I mean, one of the weaknesses now of Bermuda Triangle is they have a weak stride game. Like the first stride game is kind of weak, but then the second stride game is good, right? Because, you know, the weakness of Bermuda Triangle has always been that first stride. But you can still have Superior Ride. You're one of the few clans in the entire format to be able to Superior Ride, to hit the grade 3 first, to kind of mitigate that, as well as technically, like, your grade 3s are still pretty good. Overall, the card quality in Bermuda Triangle is very, very high. So, it's not like this clan used to be very, very strong, right? It wasn't big 6 strong, but it was definitely up there because of its ability to just double Superior Ride if you hit the absolute nuts, right? But now, it still has that power. It still has that potential. So I think, like, even though it got nerfs, it's still a very strong deck. It's still a very strong clan, right? Lots of options, lots of versatility, lots of ways to build things as well. So overall, Bermuda Triangle, lots of potential there, but it's already so strong, so it just stays in the strong format, right? Just stays strong, right? Dark Irregulars got hit huge, right? I have to say, Dark Irregulars really got hit big time. You know, losing Diamond Ass is basically you going from like 0.5th place because you're just better than first place to first place. Like overall, your card quality, like Dark Irregular. One annoying thing about Dark Irregulars is if you don't respect Dark Irregulars, they're gonna find a way to still randomly combo you, right? They'll find a combo that can kill you. So overall, the card quality of Dark Irregulars is very good. Very spiky towards that section where it goes to combos. So it still has some great combos. Don't forget that previously, you know, in GBT 14 it had Shaharot plays as well. And you know, V Shaharot is also very strong. So you know, transitioning like V into maybe a stride Shaharot, or maybe where you don't really even care about striding, might actually be a very good deck. I actually think Dark Irregulars did not drop anywhere at all. It stays strong, still staying good. I think a lot of these big 6 decks still stay like decent. It's not like they absolutely get pummeled. Some do, right? Some do, but I definitely think there is still like potential in a lot of these clans that people are kind of overlooking. So yeah, I think Dark Irregular stays strong, right? Dimension Police kind of funny, right? I think Dimension Police, when you played it before in Premium, it was very bulky, very tanky, and surprisingly, you could live through a lot of decks just by being fat and getting huge crits while having like heaps of defensive power. So overall, I think it's something like strong or like decent potential to be really good, right? Decent potential to be really good. So I don't know where to actually put this. I feel like DP, like putting it as strong though is like, I want to put the decks that are confirmed to be strong in strong, all right? So I think Dimension Police has to stay like decent potential wise, because it's in the previous formats, it was good, but it was still never like super top, right? But you don't really expect everything to be super top. So I feel like this is sitting in decent potential. This is definitely sitting in decent potential as well. Grand Blue. We've talked about Grand Blue yesterday. Basically, the Zarzan was kind of the hit, but you know, everyone's just going, yeah, come on. It's still a good deck, and I have to agree, it is still a very good deck. It's the funny thing about Grand Blue, right, is that it's always seemed to be this deck that was like, yeah, it's good, but right, but like, here's the thing: after all those buts, it still performs. It still performs, right? So I feel like people look at Grand Blue, they underestimate it a bit, but now it's always shown results. 2019 Worlds, it's shown results. You know, BSFO, but just in general as well. Granblue has always shown results in formats that are considered to be ridiculously busted in some way, right? And Granblue was never considered to be the top deck of that format. So now when there's just actually no top decks currently, it's just very easy to say Granblue is a top deck. And I think it is. I think it's very strong. So Granblue, it still retains a lot of its tools. Of course, like no Zarzan means it's gotten slower. But I garner to say that people have run this deck without Zarzan before. So I do think it's potentially very, very strong. It's still a very strong deck, right? So yeah, Granblue sits there and just does work. It does work, right? So I think it's strong. I think it's strong, right? Just ask Solon about it. He'll say it's strong. Don't ask Kelvin though. Kelvin will say it's weak because he likes to say all his clans are weak. Gear Chronicle, not Granblue. Gear Chronicle on the G's. Gear Chronicle. Okay, Gear Chronicle. I think decent potential. Definitely in decent potential, right? Because it wasn't really confirmed to be strong before. In terms of results, nothing really popped up for it, to be honest. But the builds that it currently has is really good. We got Time Leap, right? People saying like, you know, Time Leap is very good. You can just play like the V style. There's also like Mystery Flare and all that. So I feel like there's a lot of potential in the card pool for Gear Chronicle, and it always just keeps on getting good cards, right? So far in the past, you've just gotten good cards, and more good cards. Dark Stays bring some good cards too, but we don't know if they're going to put it in. But overall, the potential for the Gear Chronicle, I think, is quite high. So I'm going to put it in decent potential. That's pretty much it. Genesis got kind of hurt, you know? Right? Like, they were at the top of the world. They were at the top of the world. Now they lost to Taro, and now they lost the drives. But, you know, people say Regalia. People say, yeah, Regalia, you can play Regalia. Why don't you play Astral Poet? Right? Why not play Astral Poet? Like, sure, you don't get to restand your Valkyrian with stand triggers 20 times anymore, but you can still stand your Valkyrians, right? Is that really that bad? You don't even need to run stand triggers to restand your Valkyrian, but you can still run stand triggers to stand your Valkyrians. That's the thing. So I feel like Genesis still is pretty decent. It's still pretty decent. Okay, you just can't play the Fenris stuff anymore, right? Or you might still can run the Fenris stuff. Depends how you can figure it out. So, but people, I think people going directly from you know, Fenrir to Regalia. They're like, okay, look at this huge downgrade. I had a Lamborghini before, now I have to drive a Toyota. But hang on, there's an Audi that you can still kind of drive. Like the Valkyrian is the Audi. So why don't you give that a go and see how it goes, right? Rather than just going directly back to the Toyota. And I'm not saying Toyotas are bad. Very cheap to repair, but you know, you still have an Audi. Like, look at everyone's Valkyrian decks. They're probably fully Audi'd up, right? It's just max ready because no one wants to see like that giant text box for EOS Anuses. So I still feel like there's decent potential there. I would put it in decent potential. I'll put it here, right? I was gonna put it here, but okay, sure. The biggest deck got nerfed. And basically we're still in the air on what's good, but let's put it in the decent potential section because I don't think it's that bad, right? Great Nature. Okay, Great Nature basically hasn't changed from like ages ago, right? The idea behind Premium Great Nature is still the same. You get a bunch of cards, you do lots of attacks, you have Zola plays. Literally hasn't changed since 2019, I think. And it's gotten new cards, but the overall game plan still stays the same. And now that the format is slower, I keep on missing up the G's, dude. I keep on missing up the G's. I think Great Nature is actually in a pretty good place, right? Why aren't I playing any of these clans? These clans are all other people's decks. I don't get to play this stuff, right? But Great Nature, I definitely think huge potential. Huge potential. It stays strong. It stays strong. Gold Paladin as well, right? Gold Paladin, okay, you definitely choose Ultima, boys. But Gold Paladin, apart from that change where you can't play Ultima with over triggers, Gold Paladin hasn't really changed. It's still doing its thing since 2019, albeit probably better now because it's gotten a few extra cards. So it stays strong. I think people kind of, you know, remember back in 2019 and it got all those things that hit, you know, Wonder Ezel, remember Wonder Ezel's like, it's not like great anymore, man. You know, but you know, it's gotten Percival. It still has a GBA combo, right? So it's got Percival. Like I got Aglaville and I got Percival, right? I think I said Percival 3 times. I think it's still pretty good. I think it's still pretty good. It can still hang with the big boys. And although, you know, you can't do your ultimate over trigger, right? But you still have ultimate. You still have ultimate. Your win condition is still solid. Right? So, okay, yeah, Gold Paladin is definitely very strong. Why is everything so strong? Right? Why? Am I just biased? Am I biased? Let me know if I'm biased, all right? But Kagura is definitely strong too. I'm just saying. Again, Kagura hasn't changed, guys. Kagura hasn't bloody changed at all. Okay. This deck, I think it was still considered pretty good. Like, right? Tier 2 in the previous format right now didn't get touched. It still gets good cards. Kagura, surprisingly, you know, you run like what, the new Tribash Dragon Empire stuff is generally okay. You can slot it in for Kagura. The core design behind Kagura is very, very solid, especially Overlord. So yeah, Kagura hasn't changed at all. Strong deck before and still strong now. So yeah, good stuff. Hey, Link Joker got hit. It's definitely unplayable, guys. No bias. Nah. I think Link Joker probably needs to go under. I think it needs to go. It's either decent potential or needs work. I think it's actually in decent potential. Okay, so you lost Zinc, right? We can have a cry, right? Cry for a week. But you know, don't forget Link Joker still has other ways to play. They still have Starvaders, which they still have Chaos. They still have a great grade 3. They have Freeze Ray. It came out of Revival Selection. Still very valuable card. We just need a way to Soul Charge, right? And once we find that, Chaos, I think, once again becomes playable. But you forget, we still have Messiah. Okay, of course you can't unflip. You don't have Tempest Sphere anymore to unflip like Messiahs to get you Integral quicker. But we still have Messiah. Format's gotten slower. It's hard to say, right? Messiah could still be very good. We also have Deleters, right? Deleters. So I think there's a bunch of unexplored options there because everyone was just going, okay, Chaos is my daddy, right? Let's just play Chaos. Your opponent can't play anything when they play Chaos. So why bother with anything else? So I think there's definitely a lot of potential here with Link Joker. People are dismissing it too quick. Zinc, yeah, I cried about Zinc, right? I filled out the complaints form. I was like, why did Zinc go away? But we still have other archetypes to go with, and we only lost one card. So okay, we might have to find other ways to generate soul. We have to kind of change our deck builds there. But definitely, I still think there is a lot of potential there to be really decent. Mega Colony. Okay, Mega Colony is weird, right? I have a soft spot for Mega Colony, but I actually don't think it's unplayable. Right? I feel like Mega Colony kind of needs to go to the needs work option. Like, they need to kind of rethink the way we play Mega Colony or build Mega Colony, because I think a lot of the tech right now behind Mega Colony is still, you know, all right, guys, remember Ghidorah. She is, dude, Ghidorah is the best. All right, we have to play Ghidorah grade 3. We got to play Ghidorah grade 4, and we're just waiting for the Ghidorah grade 2, the Ghidorah grade 1, and then Ghidorah grade 0, right? And then this deck will be better. I think we just need to kind of throw out that grade 3 Ghidorah. If you like Ghidorah, you know, there's still a grade 4 Ghidorah that is pretty good, but maybe we need to like look into overdressed grade 3s, right? I think this could be somewhere unexplored. I saw a Schuld Fisher list at one of the FRFs. That was kind of interesting, right? Could do some more work, but look kind of interesting. Maybe a few sets later, this can become really good. How about Magnolia Ghidorah, right? Is it Granolia, right? Granolia? Is that a good deck name? You could use, like, you have multi-attacks in premium while locking down your opponent, but then if you're running like Magnolia, couldn't you run something like Dama Inaru as well to get even more multi-attacks and things like that? So I feel like there is unexplored areas there that Mega Colony can go into rather than sticking on Ghidorah. So okay, it's gonna be in the needs work section. You're gonna kind of change your your like brain pattern or your the way you build the entire deck. But I definitely think Mega Colony has some kind of possibilities there. Maybe not tier 1 material, but definitely material nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, okay. Next we have is Murakumo. Unfortunately, I think Murakumo is the one clan that I'm going to put down into unlucky, right? Unlucky. He got hit twice, right? So Nuadayo definitely overpowered. It just got wiped from the map. But then its infinite loop got wiped from the map as well. So not only, I feel like Murakumo not only needs a lot of work into thinking what's good, but also What is actually? Are you just gonna run Eugene with Murakumo now? I saw a list way back where they were running like you copy Trickstar with Murakumo, and then you can like overdress over the Trickstar, right? So that seemed kind of funny. That seemed kind of interesting. I don't think it's going anywhere fast, but like it definitely needs a lot of work. I'm just gonna put in the unlucky for now. The amount of work I think that you need to put into Murakumo is quite high. Of course, this could definitely go somewhere anywhere else, but this is just going here for now. This is just the one clan for me that I'm just going, all right, I'll let someone else figure it out. For me though, I'm definitely putting in unlucky because it's just kind of, it feels like it's a clan that needs a lot of work to get nowhere fast, right? Before people try building Shiroyuki premium decks and like, yeah, cool, it does nothing. But it runs Shiroyuki. All right, Nova Grapples. Okay, Nova Grapple. I'm gonna put Nova Grapples always in the needs work option. I feel like every time something happens, people are like, Novas. They got some new cards. They look pretty good. Turns out they're not that great, right? But in terms of like cards for Novas, they all look pretty decent. So I feel like there is potential there, but just it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work to get that Novas going. So yeah, I'm gonna just put it there. It's gonna chill out with Mega Colony. These are kind of like the two decks in premium that people hate to love and love to hate. But I guess if you get a bit lucky, you can always win worlds. You can always win worlds, right? Like Mega Colony's won worlds. When is Nova gonna win worlds? Could be you. Could be you. Narukami. Narukami, I'm gonna put into the kind of potential option. I feel like you can play around. A lot of good players are just playing around Narukami, but there is a point in time when you just can't. You just can't. And it really comes down to how, if the format goes slower, Narukami is going to get better because the way they scale up seems pretty good, right? You can kind of delay Narukami like one turn if you play very smartly. But if the amount of turns in premium is going to last longer, then that one turn is going to matter less. And the Narukami is going to just exponentially scale until they just wipe your hand and draw like 20 cards and get a bunch of power and you lose. Right? So Narukami definitely has decent power. It's also very easy to access, right? It's very easy to access. You just build your V deck, get a couple of extra cards, and I think you're done. You're literally done. You get some strides, you're good to go, right? So Narukami, very, very good. Neo Nectar. Neo Nectar, I think needs... Neo Nectar, I'm actually not going to place in unlucky. I feel like there is some potential in this deck. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about some crazy ideas. I don't know why, but I feel like there is some decent potential here, especially with the stride. Like one of their strides is not limited. The premium 2020, it looks that stride's not limited in the stride phase, right? You have a main phase stride, so you can do things in the main phase. You can like Alchemagic, for example, right? But the thing is, it's the other parts of Neo Nectar just doesn't feel that great. But I feel like there is potential to make it work, right? Make it work. So I'm not gonna put in the unlucky, right? I'm actually not gonna put in the unlucky section, even though it probably should go there. Probably should go there. But if you probably put a lot of work into the deck and probably look more into like the Stoicheia lines, maybe there is some potential for Neo Nectar. I think I just put it at that. Nubatama. Nubatama. I kind of want to put Nubatama here, but I think it's more likely to be here, right? You basically replace Jamio with Daihozan. I mean, it's not as good as Jamio, but it still kind of discards cards. You can run Rinne with that as well. So Nubatama, I feel like Nubatama is something like here or here, right? It's never really been like the best deck. It's never really been the best deck at all. It's sometimes just been chilling around in tier 2, but there's never like the deck for Nubatama that people play, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put it here. I'm actually gonna put it here because I feel like there's a lot more work that can be done with Nubatama to make it good, right? To make it decent, especially in the current format. You can't really think about like Nubatama from before, right? Because you just ran Jamio, you're good, it's decent, you can win games, but there was still a lot of decks that were still really good as well. So Nubatama kind of just chilled out. So yeah, I'm gonna put Nubatama in the needs in the needs work option, because I feel like, yes, you need to change, kind of just find the cards to put in the deck, right? To put in the deck to make it work, to make it stronger. So especially now that you have to like change the whole idea, like you have to go into Daihozan instead of just this straight up easy mode Jamio, like easy mode Jamio. So okay, I'm gonna put in the needs work. Oracle Think Tank. I definitely think Oracle Think Tank is strong, right? Lots of different builds. Still has Ichikishima, has Kaliko. It has different ways to build it, right? You have Tsukuyomi that recently got support. You can just not run Tsukuyomi as well. Just run like, I think Magus. Some people have been running Magus just for like, you know, you can combo Momo, get extra drive checks, things like that. And there's still, I think still a bunch of other ways to run it, right? I'm pretty sure Mo has found another way to play Oracle Think Tank. So Oracle Think Tank, I think, is proven to be a strong. Actually, no. Why don't you? Oracle Think Tank should be here. Screw that. Yeah, it's a dumb deck. It's a dumb clan. Right. So I think Oracle Think Tank always kind of showed results before as well. So yeah, Oracle Think Tank being a strong deck. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that's correct. Pale Moon is still strong, guys. Come on. Let's be real here. The card quality in Pale Moon is insane. It's actually insane. Okay, right, they have to choose between Peryton and Purple Trapezes. So they basically have to choose between an amazing versatile card that does a lot of things or Peryton that, you know, kind of makes things easier. I feel like Pale Moon, you automatically choose Purple Trapezist, but you look at the rest of the deck, it's still there, right? You still have Nightmare Dolls, still have, I don't know, the new Bunny deck might be any good. You still have Harry, right? You even have like, even old Harry? Will we see that come out? I don't know, but I feel like this Pale Moon just has so many options to build the deck. It's the O, like the reason why Pale Moon has 2 O's in its clan name is because it has like more options than every other deck. So I feel like Pale Moon, even though they lost to Peryton, it sucks, guys. It sucks. I'll give you the form, right? You know, I'll give you the form to fill out as well. But it's still a good deck. If Pale Moon remained untouched, right, I would think Pale Moon would just be like the best deck in the format. You guys would need to learn how to do combos, which would, for someone like me who's washed up, can't do combos, it's pretty hard. So yeah, they hit Pale Moon. They had to hit Pale Moon. They had to hit Pale Moon, to be honest, sir. But it's still a strong deck. Still a strong deck, guys. At Royal Paladin, I'm gonna put it here, right? It's unchanged. It's unchanged for a very long time. A lot of people disrespect Royal Paladin. They go, yeah, it's that deck that luck sacks. And yeah, it's true. You know, it runs a lot of crits. It can randomly sack you out of the game. And that's what's scary about Royal Paladin. Before you could keep them at 0 as well, right? You keep them at 0 farmhand and kill them, right? But now you can't keep them at 0 because they have Heal Guardian, so they can always get 1 damage. They have like Sanctuary Guard, which is good. They have Think Saver, which I don't know. I think it's kind of meh. They have MLB as well, so I think like the deck hasn't changed. Nothing's really changed in it. The format has changed, right? It definitely has changed. It's definitely not as fast as before. So, you know, Royal Paladin has more time to set up and to just do its own thing, right? Do its own thing. I think it's got decent potential. There's decent potential. You'll probably see it at a high table, like randomly. Some guy gets a bit lucky that day, and they take it. They do well, right? They do well. Spike Brothers, I think just put it here, guys. I think everyone knows about Hellheart 8. Do we really need to talk about it? It's just, why did she got hit, guys? Screw Hellheart 8. Screw Hellheart 8, man. Yeah, no, I think Spike Brothers should just stay here. It's just a strong deck. You know, people have to think about it when they build their decks. They can't get too lazy, right? They can't get too lazy, get too slow, get too grindy, unless they have battle phase tricks. So yeah, Spike Brothers definitely strong. Shadow Paladin, do I need to say anything? Shadow Paladin just stays here, dude. It lost Bendy, so it basically lost its Lamborghini, and now he still has an Audi. Why am I doing all these car references? I don't even like cars, right? It lost Bendy, so yeah, it became like it went from a broken deck to a top tier deck. Luard still does the same thing as before. Orpheus still strong. Now it just can't destroy you at grade 2 now, right? You actually have a chance to play against it. So yes, it's a much more fair deck, but it's also still a very, very strong deck. And the last clan we have is Tachikaze. I'm not a huge fan of Tachikaze, but Tachikaze always has had like decent value cards, right? It's had decent value cards, and I mean, like Anger Blader days, people just like, yeah, let's just build Anger Blader, right? Now I think you can definitely build something way different. You can build it very differently. It doesn't even have to worry that much about chaos, in my opinion, because I think a lot of people just gotta switch away from the chaos, right? So a lot of these decks that will like cuck you, kind of don't exist, right? Kind of dropped off a bit, and then the decks that can outspeed you or just like destroy you, like at its core, is kind of gone too. We randomly see Tachikazes do well, so I think this definitely just it stays strong, even though I think it still does need some work, but it just definitely stays strong. Now, I'm gonna put it in decent potential here. Definitely lots of potential here. So okay, let's just kind of go through all of it. All right, the only deck I really said or clan I said was kind of bad was Murakumo. Yeah, just it needs a lot of work. I guess these needs work clans, right? Just expand your brain, right? Turn your brain from 4G to 5G, maybe even 6G, and we might kind of build something. I think the only questionable one here is Nubatama, right? Nubatama, definitely, people hate it. It's did some work before, so maybe it should be here. The strong decks, I don't think need to be said at all. These are just confirmed to be pretty strong. Majority of premium. This is basically like this top line here, right? I have to say, this top line is basically tier 2 premium from the previous set. Yeah, this is tier 2 premium. And now that it's kind of moved up to, we don't know what's tier 1, so everything could be good kind of premium. So this stuff, look at this. This is insane. It's really nice to see, right? Lots of potential here, lots of potential for good decks, and already good decks. And then if your deck got kind of hit, you just need to change. You just need to change your idea. But again, like, you know, in Overdress, they're releasing more cards. Some of these builds might drastically change, and I think we're slowly starting to see some of these builds change as well. So it's pretty good to see. It's good to see that premium. Again, we've been talking about, you know, premium would be great if there wasn't these like, you know, super broken decks, the big six dominating the whole thing, and now they don't dominate anymore because they're gone. They're gone. All right, they're totally gone. So we have just. Honestly, we have so many decks, so many clans that are available to us that have a decent potential to be good. So I hope to see, like, you know, everyone's going to be testing quite crazily. I know a lot of people's fire has been ignited and they're just already going in and trying to see what is going to be the strongest decks in the future. But, you know, I definitely think there is potential here in the bottom corner, especially in Nubatama. Let's just move it up here to satisfy the ninja players, right? So let me know what you guys think, right? I've been waffling for ages, but I just can't stop talking about how good this list is, right? Every time I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh my god, this list was so good. Just send it to my friends. They haven't even woken up, and they're like, yes, thumbs up, right? Thumbs up in messages. So I think it's a great list, and with the amount of decks that we know now, right? Like just off the top of my head, that I think are pretty decent. It's just right here. It's good. It's good. So. I think Premium's in a great spot. It's in a great spot, and I guess now it's just the race to find out what are the broken necks. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.